Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charles Raether, head of AmLaw Group, based here in Miami, Florida, where we focus on global migration for our clients transitioning to or out of the United States. Today, we wanted to just do an overview of the Portuguese Golden Visa program, what's required, what are the documentary requirements, stuff like that. To begin with, probably know a couple years ago they I shouldn't say outlawed, but they terminated the ability to invest in real estate to participate in the Golden Visa program in Portugal. The most popular option that remains, and there's a couple options. There's the cultural donation for 250,000 euros, but you don't get that money back. If you start up a new business and operate a new business, hire enough people, you can do that. But most of our clients are not looking to start afresh and start a new business in Portugal. So by far and away, the most popular option for a Golden Visa in Portugal is the 500,000 euro fund investment. Large array of possible funds. These could be kind of like private equity type funds. They could be mutual fund type arrangements. We have a number of videos on this, or even better yet, better to set up an individualized consultation with us to talk about the options that are out there. But in any event, investing in these funds is the most popular. In addition to making that financial commitment and that financial investment, what else is needed? First of all, you have to meet the physical stay requirements once you get the residency. When you first make the filing, you're not subject to that residency. They first have to process your initial filing. And right now that's taking about 18 months. You've got 18 months there between when you file and then they tell you to come in and do your biometrics, that you really aren't subject to the residency requirement, but that time is counted or credited to you for purposes of getting citizenship. So it's actually a bonus because you're getting credit towards citizenship while at the same time there's no residency requirement in Portugal. But anyway, that residency requirement is 2 weeks every 2 years that you have to maintain once you get your first residency permit. Before you get residency, when you make that first initial filing, what's all needed? In the big picture, not a whole lot. You need to get your tax number, and we can do that remotely for our clients. And that takes maybe a week or two. You get the tax number. You may or may not have to open a bank account in Portugal. The conventional route is that you do open a bank account. And if you're investing non-IRA funds, regular that are not, investment funds, you do have to open up that bank account. There's only maybe one, I don't even know if there's 2 banks left that will do that remotely for US citizens. All the rest you have to come in person to Portugal to open the bank account. Why did I make that distinction with IRA funds? Increasingly, a lot of our clients are using IRA funds, and there's at least 2 funds over in Portugal that accept direct rollovers from self-directed IRAs in America. So in that case, when you do a direct rollover to them, you don't have to open up a separate Portuguese bank account. So that's a big plus. And if you've got enough in your self-directed IRA, then that could be a great plus for you in order to keep the process going without having to make a trip to Portugal in order to open the bank account. What else do you need? We need to get a police report for you and your children and your spouse. Police report in the US is done by the FBI. You can do that online. And that's it's not too difficult to get the FBI report. You got to go into the police department, do some fingerprinting, stuff like that. Not the end of the world. The big challenge is getting an apostille on the FBI report. So the apostille is subject, I believe, to the Hague Convention, that it's just a way of confirming the authenticity of any kind of government documents. And so for that, you've got to there's a little office at State Department in Washington, D.C. There's just this one office, and they're open like 3 or 4 days a week for maybe like 1 or 2 hours a day. And you've got to get yourself over there during that little window of time, or you have to hire a courier or another company in order to get there, get your documents there certified, or get an apostille placed on it, and then send that over to Portugal. We help organize all that for our clients, getting the apostille, getting the FBI report. So there's no need for you to run around to DC trying to, get the bureaucrats while they're actually working, or find a local courier. We can take care of all of that. But that does take a little bit of time. And depending on their backlog, it could take 2, 3, 4 weeks to get the apostille done. So I would say in terms of time consumption, getting the apostille probably is the biggest time suck out of the whole process for the initial processing for the Golden Visa. Then, of course, there's the fact of transferring the money. The actual transfer usually is not difficult. Collecting all the money might be difficult based on your personal financial situation. But once you have all that money collected, you need to then show proof of funds to the fund that you're investing in and say, hey, look, here's our bank account or our IRA account. In the US, we've got at least 500,000 euros. We're ready to transfer the funds over. And then you work out the mechanics with them going from there. But that's not too difficult. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot of discretionary issues as there are, say, if you were to move to the US. With the US, for example, We have something kind of like a golden visa. It's called the EB-5 program. You have to invest $800,000, but you've got to prove the source of the funds down to the penny. Like, how did you earn this money? When did you earn it? Show the path of the money. I mean, it's crazy what they require. With Portugal, you have none of those problems. Is the money in the bank account? Send it over to us, and boom, off you go. So it's a lot easier. So like I said, the biggest time suck is probably the apostille for the FBI report. If you do have a criminal history or criminal record, that can be a problem. It depends what exactly you were convicted of, what kind of issues you have. If you're seriously looking at Portugal and what it all has to offer for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us in order to get personalized discussion or session about your goals and objectives and how we can best help you achieve all of them.